UNPAVED, Sean Salisbury here to bring an authentic, real stuff to you. Hardcore opinion.
Sean Salisbury, a great NFL analyst, a former NFL quarterback.
To me, Tom Brady is the GOAT because he's done more with less than any player at that position we've ever had.
All right, welcome in, man. It's well, I was going to say I'm unfiltered, but it is unpaved. When you think about it, isn't this a great friggin' name of a show? I'm Sean Salisbury. Adam Sager's here. Segs, come on in. No rant. There is absolutely no rant. I'm going to rant for 45 minutes when we get to talking about all our stuff. I really like, and people ask me, Segs, and I don't know if I've ever said this on this show, where'd the name? I had somebody in the clothing side of the apparel that I'm the Unpaved Golf Company with the apparel side that I'm about a week away from having the logo done for that. But I've been asked a bunch of times, Sean, where did this come up from? Where'd you come up with the name? And you know, Segs, it kind of hits in life and in golf and in sports. You know, like last week, just talking about golf. But the Unpaved for this show, this kind of started, obviously, this name for this show carried over into the golf part of it, Segs, that you and I talked about. And I know you're going to require big money to wear the logo on your chest if you're going to do the show with me. That I'm going to.
Right.
My co-host wants me to turn around and pay him for being an influencer for Unpaved Golf Co. Right?
Yeah, I've about settled on my price, so it'll be coming soon.
Have your people call mine. Just keep me and you out of it, right?
Right.
So I've been asked. So it started for this Unpaved just show, all sports, entertainment, politics, fun, get everybody involved. And they said, why? Well, I think most, like last week, just in the golf side of it, how the parallels happen in life is like Matsuyama Segs hit like 40% of his fairways last week. And he lost in a playoff. And you say, well, drive for show, putt for dough. Well, the truth of the matter is, while he putted for dough and he's got an unbelievable short game, the driver, all 4 days, the announcers kept saying, eventually it's going to catch up to you if you don't put it in the short grass. And he did not. He didn't on the 72nd hole, and he didn't on the playoff hole, which cost him the tournament. He didn't even get a chance. But putting for dough didn't matter because Goddard made a birdie when he was trying to make a par. But the bottom line is he spent a whole tournament on unpaved fairway, rough, bunker, the rest of it. And so in life, it's the same thing, Segs. Think about your life, man. Think about my life. I've hit rock bottom. I've been this. But think about in order to get to success, and sometimes success is the unpaved road where you're like, take a vacation, Segs. If you and I are in our Jeep or we're traveling up to the West Coast and we see a diner off the beaten path, or you want to take it and say, hey, man, let's just pop on here, man. This looks like a fun place to go off-road. You go there and you find your way through and hope the hell you get back and boom, and you're back on it, right? But it's the same in life. You get kicked in the teeth, you get back up. Most of your favorite things that happen and most of your growth happens from adversity or unpaved stuff, right? We all want to be on the paved road, but it's not realistic. Same thing in golf. Segs, we both played together. Sometimes it looks like I'm an 8 handicap. Sometimes I feel like I'm a 25.
Right.
But if you and I go play and we both make birdie from a fairway, let's say a par 5, right? We hit a good drive and hit a good shot up there, chipped up and close and made birdie. But if you made a birdie from a bunker or from have to hook one around the tree, Bubba Watson, where he had a slice. You know, we had that one at the Augusta where he kind of sliced. Yeah. He's a hook guy. I mean, a cut guy, but he had to slice one around the tree and he wins Augusta. Or the Mickelson off the pine needles. Remember, Segs, I think it's on 13 or 15, where he's in the right side. He hit through the fairway and out the pine needles rips like a 3-wood or a 5-wood and it sticks to like 12 feet or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
but that's golf and that's life. And that's what we do here. We take you on an unpaved trip, but hopefully we lead you at the end of each show to a paved road. So I know, and I know that's not the show, but I just want to, I mean, today we got so much, Brady's involved, fights are involved, pussing out on showing up, the plays involved. We get all that. But life, golf, football, sports, entertainment, raising kids, don't you spend most of your life on an unpaved road in order to try and get yourself back? You lose money, you change houses, you move, trends change, your weight fluctuates, all those things. It ain't always pretty, but it's the embracing part of it. I've learned so much now to play out of a bunker, Segs. I'm pretty good out of a fairway bunker. Why? I am the motherfucker so much, right? Right. And I used to be a snap, when I first started Segs playing, that I played golf football. I played golf like I played football. Intense, pissed, that feeling of, and then you'd snap, hook, and drive, and you don't play enough, and you think you're supposed to be a 5 handicap. Bitch, you ain't good enough to be mad. That was me. But then all of a sudden, you snap a driver over your neck, and then you go 3 weeks and don't play. Then I put the clubs away, come back. So part of the unpaved process is me embracing that, where it's helped that inner fight I have with myself on the golf course. Does that make sense? And it's life. So I guess when you embrace it, you kind of get back on a paved road. And sometimes for me, I kind of like the chaos of an unpaved road to get me where I want to go. And sometimes last week, Matsuyama took an unpaved road for 71 holes, Segs, and was able to pull off. But that last one, he didn't embrace it. Unfortunately, it cost him, and the extra hole cost him. So that's kind of an explanation for people who want to know. And I think it fits for everybody in life. So you brand it, you LLC it, you do everything you can to you trademark it, Seg, so we're good to go. And all that is true. So I look forward to the continued growth of this and having you a part of it's awesome. But we start with Tom Brady, who I know it feels like, Segs, that this cat's had nothing but a paved road his whole life.
Yeah.
Not true, though. Guy's a 6th-round draft pick, struggled to make a team. If Bledsoe doesn't get hurt, Brady doesn't see the field.
Right.
And now you look, but he spent some time on there. He's lost the Super Bowl, won a bunch, but like a little unpaved battle here with Logan Paul, too, Segs. It is great to have you on, brother.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting with Tom Brady. I mean, first look at, his long career in the NFL, 7 Super Bowl, all this stuff. We never really heard from Tom Brady. Now he's in the announcer's booth. He's the analyst for Fox, the #1 analyst for Fox. He's all over the place in the media. He's doing podcast after podcast after podcast, radio shows, and all this stuff.
Personality we're seeing that we never saw during his playing career.
So that's kind of the fun part of this. And he's talking with Logan Paul, who's the ex-YouTuber or YouTuber, I guess he still is.
I don't think you're ever an ex-YouTuber, Segs. You're once a YouTuber, always a YouTuber.
Yeah, you just keep going. He was boxer. Now he's in the WWE, one of their superstars. So he had Tom Brady on his Impulsive podcast, and they're talking about the Fanatics flag football game that's going to be over in the Middle East. We talked about it a couple months ago when it was announced, but they're both playing in this. So let's listen to this little back and forth that Tom Brady and Logan Paul have here on the Impulsive podcast.
That I'm being flown out to Saudi Arabia to compete in a Fanatics flag football game with you.
Yeah, I'm actually a little worried for you because I know
for me.
Well, you're a good athlete, but you're like
no.
These guys are another level.
I am the highest level. I am the level.
No, you're not the level.
I am the level.
You're a good athlete, but honestly, when I'm thinking of Saquon Barkley and I'm thinking of like
can Saquon
Odell
Barkley
Beckham and Justin Jefferson,
a flip off the top rope?
Have you not
a 180
seen him
moonsault
jump
off the top
over
rope
someone's
onto
head?
LA
it's
Knight?
cute. It's a great, I love WWE. It's very cute. But honestly, this is like real football. This is real competition.
I was an all-state linebacker. I rushed for 1,200 yards, 19 touchdowns my senior year.
Well, let's see what you can still bring it. I mean, look, we all had a great pass. I won 7 Super Bowl. Who don't gives a shit? You know what matters? This game, March 21st in Saudi. I'm glad you're going to be there, and I'm glad you're finally going to participate in like a competition that matters.
This guy's insane. The audacity of Tom Brady. I can't believe it. Wins 7 Super Bowls, thinks he can just go around and talk about his flag football game like it's going to be the Pro Bowl.
It's going to be way better than that.
I love the dig at the end on the Pro Bowl. Like, they're going back and forth. That's that WWE style, like talking shit to each other. But I love the dig at the Pro Bowl at the end when he says, talking about it like it's the Pro Bowl. No, it's going to be way better than that.
And Tom, on the other side, it is way better than the Pro Bowl because the Pro Bowl sucks ass. It's better.
Yes.
It can't, if it's worse, then you'll never have it again. And it'll be a bad feeder to the Saudi Arabian folks if the Pro Bowl look is what you're bringing there. Hopefully this flag football game will be better. Segs, it's a Fanatics party. Is this during Super Bowl week, I'm assuming? Or is
I'm
it
not
after?
Sure, or if I think
was it yesterday or the day before?
Yeah, I think it might have been like last night.
Okay, well, you know what this is?
Like their kind of promotion for the flag football game.
Okay, so it's like post Super Bowl, little some radio interviews and little promotion to get out in front of it. I can tell you this: Tom didn't miss any fun at the Super Bowl, judging from the horse voice. Looked like Tommy had himself a good time, either yelling at the thing and he's fired up because, well, he's got his new football coach at the Raiders and Clint Kubiak, or he's fired up because what's the the rumors about one of those great influencers that when she, endorses a product, it goes off the charts. That one, what is her name, man? Blonde gal, been talked about a lot. That seem to be showing up at the same places together. There's that talking about. What is it? Does her name start with an A?
Alex Earl.
Alex Earl. There you go. Big influencer. Maybe I got to put Unpaved Golf Company on a T-shirt so she'll pub it. Alex Earl and him, the talk. Tommy sounds as if that hoarse voice got it like he was playing at a game.
Yeah.
Advantage Brady when it comes to who's still got a little bit of football eligibility left, because I know he'll compete. But on Logan Paul's side, I like how Tom said, let's come play some real stuff where real athletes live.
WWE.
And then, yet I don't want to get off the top rope and have to jump or carry some 300-pound dude above me and standing press him above me or do lunges with the dude on my shoulders. Yeah, I'm not into that.
You don't want to body slam like Andre the Giant, like Hulk Hogan did.
No, he's dead. Segs, he's dead.
Both of them are dead. Yeah.
Who was the one you said, Andre the Giant? Who else?
Hulk Hogan.
Oh, Hulk Hogan. I thought you said Logan. I was gonna say I didn't remember seeing. No. Yeah, both unfortunately. But I'm not a huge WWE guy. I know the stars. I don't follow it. I don't watch it. I should more because my kids all loved it.
Oh, do they?
Especially my two boys.
As a kid.
My son Dylan, and if I took them to what is the Super Fest or whatever the hell the end of the year is, what that called, Raw, the
WrestleMania,
whatever the champion, WrestleMania. Dude, he'd invite 20 of his buddies over, and we'd go. I should have charged friggin' an entry fee admission, but he loves it, so I'm getting used to it. Both of them are right. Different type of athlete. I love it. They both called each other out. Good made for click stuff, but also I think deep down they probably both believe it. I think Brady thinks that WWE's cute, but it's not really that. It's all scripted. And I think that Logan Paul thinks, hey, bitch, my athleticism is better than you think, and you can do stuff I can't do, but I'm quite sure there's Logan Paul doing stuff that Tom probably can't do. Advantage Brady in Saudi Arabia in more ways than one. He'll probably land another $100 million endorsement or something, Segs, over there.
Yeah, and I know we talked about this when it happened, but real quick on this game, like we're seeing with the World Baseball Classic that's coming up here, some of the stars not get their, basically the insurance is saying like, no, like we're not going to cover you going to this. So we've seen guys like Lindor and a few others have to pull out of the World Baseball Classic. And I wonder what does it cost for these guys, Saquon Barkley and company in it. There's a bunch of, I think CD Lamb's in it. I can't remember the exact list of current NFL superstars that are playing in this game. Man, what's that insurance bill got to look like when you're going over to play a game? And I mean, if you're the Eagles or the Vikings or one of your star players is playing in this game, I mean, you got to be holding your breath the entire time that he doesn't just blow out that ACL or tear his Achilles like we've seen so many players do lately. I mean, the insurance money in this game has to be astronomical. But Saudi Arabia, those guys, they can cover it tenfold and not even feel it.
Yeah, I hope they're getting paid a big fee to go play. I know it's about $200, honestly. The risk, because if you're the Giants and Jackson Dart was playing. I'm just using him as an example with Barkley and Philly, CeeDee Lamb. I understand a great vacation's fine, but I watched my guy from Georgia, Robert. Why am I losing my mind? Played Joe, blew out his knee at the and it was never the same. The running back from Georgia played at the Pro Bowl in the sand after his rookie year. Had a phenomenal rookie year.
I know exactly who you're talking.
I can't even believe I don't know. I've coached camps with him. It's ridiculous that I can't remember his name. Great guy and a phenomenal player.
Figure it out.
Shredded his knee at that beach football game at the Pro Bowl. Now, I'm not wishing this on anybody. So to go along with what you're saying about insurance rates, I would imagine, it costs a pretty penny to insure them over there. I would hope that people are smart. But if you're a team, Segs, it's got to concern. I know you want global growth, but what do you want more? Global growth or of your best players not getting hurt? You know what I mean? So I understand it. We're trying to go Segs, we will play a game. I just want you to understand. I think we're playing. Isn't every team at some point going to or close going to play in a non-U.S. game next year on the fall schedule? Or by 2027, all of them will play over there? Yeah,
they want to have it where every team is playing. I think they have 9 games scheduled for next year.
So that's better than half the league.
Yeah.
That's better than half the league.
That's their goal.
I'm telling you now.
Every team playing an overseas game.
In the same season.
Yes.
The same season, right? And that's fair. So you don't wear one out and have to do. Was it Todd? No, it wasn't Todd.
Robert Edwards. It was not Todd. Robert Edwards.
Robert Edwards. Thank you. It wasn't Todd Gurley. It was Robert. Now Gurley blew out his knee playing football,
but he didn't
shred it there.
Rookie
and
game.
I'm telling you, and I coached at camps with Robert. Great guy. But Segs, I remember watching him play as a rookie. He was on his way to a. He was on his way to a great career because he could catch the ball in the backfield too. He could do it all, and it was a bummer. So you don't want to wish that, and you hope it's good. But Segs, you do know a game in Saudi Arabia at some point is coming, right?
Oh yeah.
We do know that they will schedule anywhere there's global money and a lot of it. They are going to introduce it. We've seen it in Germany, Mexico City, London. It will continue. Ireland. Right. I know we've seen college ball there.
I know there's a group like pushing to have a game in Africa because they have that NFL Africa that has produced some actual players.
Segs, didn't we have one in South America last year? Were we in Brazil last year? Or was that what we talking about? Weren't we?
I think
Argentina, Brazil, South America. Yeah,
Brazil.
So it's going right. It's headed that direction. And I get why the players, but as an appearance. It'd be hard to just, hey, thanks. It's a good global. I know you're probably going to fly private or first class over there, but I can tell you this. I'm sure in Paris, that's right, gets a game. If you're a player, because competitive juices are going to kick in.
Oh yeah.
You go to pull a guy's flag, and flag football is becoming. We're giving scholarships away in flag football now to go to college. They are. They're playing women's leagues, and it's great. It's another avenue to get a college education, keep playing what you love to do, and giving more opportunity for women to play against women in their sport. And it should only be women against women, as I continue to reiterate that. But Segs, going over there, think about it. You're the starting quarterback, or you're the owner of a team that's got your quarterback or your running back. I mean, while the NFL, I'm sure they were in cahoots on how this was going to be, but as an appearance fee, are you going to Saudi Arabia, risking your contract or a season without? I don't know what it is, and maybe it's part of the deal, but is Brady playing over there unless there's a major fee behind it, just kind of like a golfer who just shows up to play, gets his $500,000 appearance fee before the thing even starts? To lure great players over there, don't you have to do that, Segs?
Yeah,
I would think, right? Massive. Okay, who wins the battle, Brady or Paul in that interview? Who got the best of each other?
I got to say, just for the digs and the WWE style, I thought Tom Brady held up really well against a guy who does it, weekly. When he goes out there, he's on the mic.
Trash talking is part of his daily job.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, I got you. I agree. Brady by a small amount, but Logan Paul better athlete than people will give credit to these guys because they do stuff the rest of scripted or not. It's still hard as hell to do that stuff, man. Hard as hell. No interest in doing it, but I am intrigued with how athletic some of those big fellas actually are. In truth, I really am.
Oh. Yeah, I mean they can do some stuff that make you just kind of shake your head and like, holy cow.
Yeah.
But all right, moving on to another NFL topic. We had we've talked about CJ Stroud, this upcoming contract. We had a contract projection by ESPN, which I'll talk about here in just a second. But Ryan Fitzpatrick was talking about CJ Stroud and what the Houston Texans should be looking to do with CJ Stroud as they, decide to pick up his 5th-year option. They can extend him. Do they trade him? What should the Texans do? But here's what Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's a former Texans quarterback, said about CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans.
It's Seattle. They've had a ton of talent on defense, but they haven't been afraid to continue to draft guys and put them in good positions on that defense and sign guys on that defense. And then last offseason, they signed Sam Darnold, and he's making $33 million a year. So right now you're sitting on that CJ Stroud contract going, okay.
And they traded away Geno Smith.
Traded away DK Metcalf, right? I mean, I sit there and watch Houston play this year, and I'm thinking, okay, what's going to be better next year? Or maybe this happens in 2 years. Is it going to be better? Because you can't tell me that there aren't teams that are out there that would trade 2 first-round picks and some more things for CJ Stroud. You're telling me the Arizona Cardinals wouldn't be interested in that, or the Jets, or the Dolphins, or the Steelers, or the Browns, or whoever it is. I just think if you're Nick Caserio right now with Houston, it's like, all right, so I can have Davis Mills at $7 million and a bunch more draft capital, or I could have no additional draft capital and CJ Stroud at $60+ million. I at least think there has to be a conversation about it, and I think he has to be thinking about that, watching Seattle do what they did and for their defense to really take them as far as they did and dominate in that Super Bowl.
He's
I think there's a
100%
couple layers to this, though.
Question me up. What do you got?
I think that when he's talking, CJ Stroud, CJ Stroud at $55 million versus Davis Mills at $7 million makes a lot of sense. But is Davis Mills anywhere near what Sam Darnold is that would be able to take them over the top and be in the Super Bowl? I don't know about that. But when we just talk about CJ Stroud, the quarterback, and he said there's plenty of teams that would be willing to offer 2 1s for CJ Stroud. I don't know about that. Based on his last 2 seasons, if you were a GM, would you look at CJ Stroud and say, yeah, here's my 1 this year and here's my 1 next year, plus probably a little bit more in terms of draft capital if it's 3rd, 4th, whatever it is, rounders. Would you be comfortable giving that up for CJ Stroud, seeing what you have the past 2 years? Oh, and you got to make a decision what's going to be over $30 million in his 5th-year option, and then the extension, which is going to be over $50 million. Would you be comfortable giving that up?
It's hard for me to quit on a guy, and I'm not quitting on Stroud anywhere. He's digressed. He's regressed. I digress, but he's regressed the last 2 years. First year, felt like he was brilliant every week after he got the shit kicked out of him the first 2 weeks with no offensive line, his rookie year. Then he kicked in and played better football in 1 year than he's played combined the last 2. Simple. That's simple. Now, you can give me, would you see the throw he made here, the play he made here? The spectacular can be there. He is a tremendous spinner of the football, especially intermediate, at least his rookie year. That's kind of gone down, the percentage of completion and his approach and how I think defenses feel they need to stop him. I think they've waned a little bit on thinking he's not going to take over this game. We're going to be fine if we pressure him a little bit, give him some looks. But he can throw the ball. He's a good player. He ain't $60 million a player. And to go back to what you're saying, Segs, do I think I know this, with that great-ass defense, as good as we saw all year long, and that's including Seattle with the Texans defense, is that CJ Stroud and his performance in the postseason put them in a bind. And they would not have been in the postseason if Davis Mills doesn't play like a starter for 3. He played like a starter.
Very sure. Very true.
And remember when Mills got a lot of work in, but he only played like a dozen games as a starter in Stanford, so he's still learning. Is Stroud better than Mills? Yes. Is Stroud $53 million better? The answer is absolutely not. And my philosophy is if you can get to the playoffs and neither one are taking you where you want to go, then I'll take my holdover until I find the guy that is going to take me where I want to go. Seattle. Geno, you tried it. You didn't have to pay him a lot. He rejuvenated his career, got to a really good spot, moved into the Raiders, and it was a wise move. Sam Darnold's better than Geno Smith at 33, 34, 35 million. So, Segs, for me, there's a couple things to this. No, I wouldn't give up 2 first-rounders for him. I'd give up a first, maybe a player, and a conditional third that can be a second if CJ comes and plays 75% of the snaps or whatever. You see what I'm saying? I'm not automatically saying I'll give you 2 for that. I think we're going to start to guard against that.
Yeah.
One, you can't keep doing this unless we have a salary cap that's separate for quarterbacks. And hell no, he's not worth 60, but unfortunately you're worth, for some, if he gets it, great. I'm not in his wallet, but I'm putting myself as a GM or the betterment for the Texans football team or anybody else that takes it. For a first-round pick and a player, a first round and a third round, would I trade for him if I was the Miami Dolphins? Tomorrow, if that's what the offer was by the Texans. If I'm the Texans, what rush are you in to sign him? He's got 3 years in the league. He's now eligible to get an extension. But he can't go anywhere for 2 more years. Where's he going? I mean, you could trade him, but what, are you afraid of pissing him off? I don't understand the urgency. I just don't. Now we're in the show me. Minnesota should have tested Darnold in the show me and franchised him for 1 more year and then said, damn, he's done it 2 years in a row. We're keeping him. They didn't do that. They rolled the dice and they fucked it up, period.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 3 years from now, J.J. McCarthy may be great, but on the urgent, they screwed it up and Seattle benefited from it. Great defense he's talking about. Run the football efficiently. And then Darnold's proven he's not just some guy who does some good stuff sometimes. Sam Darnold's become one of the best players at the position in this league the last 2 years, period. Not the best. He's in the conversation of after you get through those first 5, the next 6 or 7, he's in that talk. So first off, why are we always in such a rush? Why did we rush Tua into this? Why did we rush? Why are we rushing 55, 60 plus $60 million into a guy who's got 2 years on a contract? Where the fuck is CJ Stroud going? Nowhere. Well, we don't want him to be upset. Upset about what? 2 years in a row now. He's played average football some of the time, great football once in a while, and has been mid for the other 2 years and been hurt. And I'm a guy who banged the table for CJ Stroud after his rookie year thinking this guy's, and I still think he's a player, but he's gotten a little bit gun shy in the pocket six. He's not the same in a clean pocket as he was. He's just not. Now, that doesn't mean this is permanent. But what are the Texans, if you keep CJ Stroud, what's the rush, Segs? Tell me one reason why I got to re-up him for $60 million now. Where's he going? He can't go anywhere. Well, I'm going to hold out. Okay, we won 3 games with you without you when you were hurt. Davis Mills is a great alternative, and he's also kind of takes away your negotiating power if you're CJ Stroud. I can go win with him again. I can. I like CJ Stroud. I think he's a good player. But what's the rush? I've never understood it. I don't know what I'm going all JB. I don't know. I didn't see JB's show, but I can just tell you from me, and I've ranted about this before. I wouldn't pay him that kind of money. I just wouldn't. And I'm a Stroud guy. I am a CJ Stroud guy, okay? But I'm not guy enough to pay him 5 years at $60 million a year and guarantee 3/4 of it. I'm not doing that. And Fitz is right. I'm right about this. Why can't you just say, well, we're going to camp and he's going to prove it to us again this year? Why can't you do that and see if he's the rookie quarterback we saw or the last 2 years we saw? Because what's the excuse? They got players. They got to get a better offensive line. But he's got a defense that gets him the ball. He doesn't even have to score 4 touchdowns a week to win. Post 3 and a field goal, and you're going to win most of your damn games with that defense. So while I'm a Stroud, I believe in him, I'm not sold that he's going to dominate for the next 10 years and be a top 10 guy. I'm not. Now, after another year of him, you say, okay, that looks like the old guy's got himself back. I'm not in a rush if I'm the Texans. I would trade him. I don't think you can guarantee you get 2 first-round picks for him. No. But some of these teams will be desperate, and they may. My number one thing is, Stroud can come in as he's our starting quarterback unless somebody makes us an offer we can't refuse. I can win with Davis Mills. I don't know if I can win a Super Bowl, but I'm sure as shit in no rush to give a guy. We've seen the movie. ROI, most of the time you ain't getting your money back for that, Segs, especially when you do it prematurely. I ain't giving him an extension this offseason. And if he holds out, he'll get fined every single day, and eventually he'll come back because nobody has the balls at that position to miss out on certain money a whole year. They just don't for the most part. So I would make improvement. But if somebody makes me an offer, if all of a sudden Miami said we'll give you 2 first-rounders, I would ship him. I would absolutely do it. And Mills can hold it down until I find the next guy. We've proven that you can be a great quarterback and not win a Super Bowl, but great defenses always give you a chance to win a Super Bowl. They travel even better than a great quarterback does. Ask Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen about that.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting, discussion when you're talking about CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans and these next few years. You hope with D'Amico Ryans this defense just stays elite for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, but that's not guaranteed. Players fall off, you lose players, injuries happen, stuff happens, and we know going into next year they're going to be a really damn good defense. But if you don't have the quarterback in place that can get you over that hump that we saw both the Texans and the Broncos not be able to get over, and now the Broncos lost Bo Nix, but their backup wasn't up for the challenge in the AFC Championship game, and they missed out on
overwhelmed.
Possible.
He was overwhelmed, just like Drake May was in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. So that you lost that chance at a Super Bowl, and every season is a chance at a Super Bowl, and if you don't take advantage of it when you have the top-ranked defense in the NFL, and you don't take advantage and get to the Super Bowl and possibly win it, that's a season lost for D'Amico Ryans. So that's where it's such an interesting, and I'm 100% with you that they should not pay him. Do not give him that extension. Pick up the 5th-year option. I looked it up. It's only like $27 million. So you've got him on his 4th-year rookie year deal this year, which isn't a ton. And then it's 26. So
and that puts you at the bottom of the league as a starting quarterback in salary segs on the option year.
But again, if you go this next season and CJ Stroud is just that same quarterback that just is not progressing at all and even maybe regressing a little bit, you are stuck with that $27 million in 2028. And that could hurt you moving forward. So there's a lot of layers to the CJ Stroud talk.
Another problem with that, Segs, is if, let's say you say we're not going to extend him right now, like I was suggesting, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes out and doesn't play well and you want to move him, you lose value with him and you're not going to get what you'd get. Because right now we're in the in-between phase, Segs. We're in the who is he?
Right.
Like I'm thinking, is he rookie CJ? Sometimes CJ the last 2 years and then sometimes not. I still may be able to milk a second first-round draft pick, like Fitz said, maybe, depending on the desperation of the team, like a Jets team that you're like, if you're Aaron Glenn, you're thinking, if I don't have a decent season, I'm getting fired, right? So that type of mentality and with the front office and working. So, and you are right and that window with defense is going to close, Six. I don't mean fully, but eventually the 2 corners are going to want bigger money.
Right.
Lassiter and Sting. I know Stingley got paid.
Yeah.
So, but you can't pay 2 corners $300 million or whatever it is you're going to, or 200. You know what I mean?
That
eventually,
Will Anderson contract extension is coming quickly.
Well, what about Bullock, who's one of the best ball hawks in the league? Yep. Will Anderson. You start to look around at the guys who are going to want paid. We saw it. See, it happens to every defense. It's all about the team, but when it's time to get yours, you want to get yours. And Will Anderson, quite frankly, if you said, Sean, long-term, who you want to pay more? Will Anderson's been more productive than CJ Stroud has in their deals. And with CJ, so you risk what if it's average, he loses value. If we move him, are we good enough if our defense is still this good for Davis Mills or somebody else to take us to that next level? But I am taking calls now, Segs, because if somebody did offer me 2,
someone wants to overpay.
What about this? What if the first pick what would the Raiders have to have? I'm just using them as an example. I'd take him in Vegas, the Raiders, because I think he's a good player. I think there's things that he needs to do this offseason to get back to where he was. And maybe, it may be mental stuff, not as a football IQ, but just getting out of his own way because of the hits he's taken. That's part of the position. What's the first-round pick worth to the Raiders? That you get a guy who's been in the league, who you get a little cheaper. You'd probably have to re-up, but you don't have to right now. Let's say you traded for him. I don't look at Stroud and see he's Josh Allen right now. He's Lamar Jackson.
I wouldn't give up
Stafford.
the first overall pick for CJ Stroud.
What about CJ Stroud? And therefore, what about would you give up the first pick for Stroud and the Texans' first pick? And then the Texans get the first pick of the draft?
Yeah, so I'm just thinking this out for the Raiders. And, okay, you get CJ Stroud. We don't know what he is. You said
another first-round pick, which will be late, right?
And you get, about the 20th pick. I don't know exactly where they pick, but 22nd, something like that, for the first pick. I couldn't do it because the unknown of CJ Stroud. Plus, even if CJ Stroud is good, I'm in a great division. My roster isn't anywhere close to, even if you want to say the Chiefs are the third team, my roster isn't close to that. So CJ Stroud isn't making up that gap himself. And we have the Max Crosby where we got to pay him also, plus
and then you're going
CJ
to pay
Stroud.
CJ. If you make that trade, you're going to pay
if I'm
him.
the Raiders,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
Right.
I think the rookie contract of Fernando Mendoza is worth more than CJ Stroud and the 22nd pick, let's say.
And you don't think that CJ Stroud, that the gap between Stroud and Mendoza's best is going to be rookie contract to $60 million a year. And I get it. I'm just using them as an example. What is the value on CJ Stroud right now? In that tweener, there's some that still believe he's going to be a star in the league. And I get it. And there's going to be some that say, not for me, man. And those teams that Fitz named, Jets, Dolphins, Cleveland, teams that we've been taught, Raiders, teams that we talk about. What's the value for CJ Stroud? If he has another bad year, that value's going down. You ain't going to get it. You may not even get a first-round pick for him. That'll be the problem.
Exactly.
So this year is pivotal for a lot of reasons. I do know this. If I'm the general manager, I am shopping and listening, and I'm not extending him. And if I do extend him, I can't extend him $60 million a year. So I just can't do it. I'm sorry. And you can't win a Super Bowl with shitty quarterback play. We've seen that. So great defense travels better than quarterback play, because I can have a great quarterback, bad defense. My quarterback's not winning. We've seen it to get to the Super Bowl, and people come up short. Now, Spagnuolo's defense shows up. You got Mahomes and you got Andy Reid. Well, God bless you. You're going to be okay. But if you're talking about the better chance for the Texans to win is solid quarterback play, phenomenal defense, and really good special teams, as opposed to great quarterback play, shitty defense, and no offensive line. They still won't get there. They proved that already. So you got to. Is it worth $60 million to me to pay him to keep him? No. I think there's plenty of quarterbacks I can get less expensive that can get me 9 wins or 10 wins.
Yeah.
I do. Now, that doesn't mean I don't think Stroud's good, because I do. Stroud's got to prove it one more year before I'd even jump into $50 to $60 million. 30, pay him Darnold's money. That's about what he's worth right now.
Yeah.
And that $38 million. And Sam,
that.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a interesting conversation just with all quarterbacks at this stage when they get here. All right, switching over to college football, Lincoln Riley talked about the evolution of these super conferences like the Big Ten and the SEC that now have like 19 teams and they're not all playing each other in seasons. And he says it's hard. It's made ranking the teams much more challenging, especially when you're talking about playoffs and, you know, who's played who and all this stuff. He says it's more difficult, but let's hear from Lincoln Riley. And here's exactly what he had to say on this topic.
Conversations for you guys?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that the Big Ten and SEC have obviously separated themselves, and I think everybody in college football understands that, and that's just the reality of where the situation is in terms of the schedules. And I know everybody wants to sit there and debate those two conferences, but the reality is, like, both conferences are fantastic. Both conferences, you play elite level teams. Very, very often the strength of schedules, all that are very different. And I think that's honestly, I think as these two leagues have done that, I think it's made, ranking, playoff rankings, all that, in my opinion, like that much more difficult, because the discrepancy in schedules right now, to me, it's never been higher in college football than where it is right now. And so you're asking humans to do a very difficult job, kind of given how we currently rank teams. So it is I think guys know now, you come to USC and play in the Big Ten, you're going to play one of the best schedules in the country. You're going to play marquee teams both on the road and certainly here in LA at the Coliseum. And your strength of schedule is not going to be it's not going to be questioned. And those are the type of games, like, listen, you're right here in LA, you're at USC. Like, these are the type of games you want. These are the type of games that we came here for. We want guys that come to USC because they want to be in those games as well.
It's interesting because the schedules are such a big topic right now, especially with the SEC moving to 9-game seasons inside the conference. We saw yesterday that Alabama and Ohio State are supposed to play in a few years, home and home. Well, it looks like Alabama's going to cancel that because they're going to the 9-game schedule. So you're adding another SEC team, which they consider the best conference, just like the Big Ten considers itself the best conference. But you're adding
But you're going to
another
go chicken
SEC.
shit schedule. You're going to go with a bad
Yes,
non-conference.
you're going to go with
Yeah.
the easier non-conference when you have 9 SEC games instead of having an Ohio State on your schedule. So that's where people have problems with it. People don't like it because we're taking away games like a possible Alabama, Ohio State home and home 2 years in a row, knowing that we get that matchup guaranteed at the beginning of the season is great. But now with these schedules and the way they're set up, that teams are backing out of their big time non-conference games that they have scheduled already. So I think we'll see how it continues to affect. But do you think the big conferences, the 18, 19 teams like we see in the Big Ten and SEC, do you think that's a problem moving forward for college football?
I do, because, well, Segs, if we're going to do it and it's going to be in the committee meeting and you just want to get to the 12 or the 16, depending on what we have, right? They're not punishing. You beat a team you're supposed to beat by 30, you beat them by 10. You're not getting punished for it that much. You're just not. So why wouldn't you? On your non-conference, we as fans want to see a lights out, ass kicking, brutal game where it's a banger every week, right? We want that. Listen, you can make no argument. You can argue now that the Big Ten has passed the SEC as the best conference in college football. It's been SEC, and there's still people get locked into, well, it's SEC just because it's SEC. I can tell you this, that of the Power 4 schools, conferences, that the Big Ten and the SEC are clearly, far and away. If you don't think that at the top, if you think that Clemson and Miami and teams at the top of the ACC or in the Big 12 at the top are as good as the top of the Big Ten and SEC, I don't believe that. But if you think they are, have at it. Where the problem comes is that those two conferences are far deeper, far better, and far difficult to navigate from top to bottom than the other. There is a huge chasm and gap between the top two and the other two. There just is. And the top two are winning national titles regularly. So for me, Segs, yes, it is tougher. And it's a catch-22 because you want to schedule them. That's Lincoln. When you come to USC to play. Well, yeah, you come to USC to play the tough games, but every now and then you'd like a cupcake game so you can keep your ranking. And to get in, coach is going to get a bonus, more wins, all of those things that come into play that you don't address on podcasts. Lincoln's right, though, that it does the discrepancy when human errors and voters are human to do it. So the question is not that we know we have a problem, because we do. They're just better. They got a lot of money. They've got now some other schools are jumping in and they get a lot of money to add to the build of their NIL and paying and getting it going. But overall, those two are going to continue to be in a position to have a bunch of teams in it, but it's also a tougher road to get there. So the question is, what's the answer, Segs? How do we do it? The Big 12 and the ACC got to get better. Is it the way to you want the other two conferences to face the same thing, Segs, and it may even take a while because people love Alabama, people love Ohio State and Michigan, people love going to Southern Cal, LSU. But if you put a salary cap on NIL in the portal, wouldn't those other two conferences, if they were committed to it, if Clemson and Dabo decided we're gonna buy in a little bit, wouldn't that bring the other two conferences closer together? I know it's made recruiting tougher on the dominant teams because you're losing players to schools that are spending money that kid would have never even thought of. Yeah. Your guy was never going to Michigan, dude. Never. He was going to the other guy that was going to pay him, LSU. Michigan, money solely, not the coach, not none of it. Money solely got him to go, Underwood, to go to Michigan.
Yep.
So if you start doing that and you get those alumni that have done what Texas Tech is doing, and you build it like that, what's the greatest equalizer? Is it the schedule? Or does the ACC and Big 12, will they have an argument if the teams near the second half of the Big 12 and ACC say, oh, it's a great equalizer. Now there's a salary cap. We can start to move closer to it, which makes it easier. But in truth, we bitch about the teams in it, but the SEC and the Big 10 should have more teams. It's a better conference. They've got better players from top to bottom. They're deeper, and they play a tougher schedule. So I don't know. Is it the people that are voting? I don't know the answer, Segs. I think about a lot of things that need change, but there is no doubt the SEC, and it's very difficult. And I hate preseason rankings anyway, because if you're ranked up there, you got a better chance of staying around there, because the fall, we automatically think you're great. What the fuck does last year have to do with this year? I know you're bringing people back, but it's tough every year. Or Buffalo, eventually, they're going to win a Super Bowl in the NFL. Well, they bring people back and somebody else gets better and you kick them out, and New England's the division winner. So, Segs, I don't know the answers. I think about answers. I got answers for some of it. The best way, schedule-wise, to make those schedules more equal is the number of conference games you play in-house, but also that the guys in the SEC, in the Big 12 and the ACC, the great equalizer is making sure we got to cap NIL in the transfer portal, because the good ones are going to keep doing it. And that's why Texas Tech's not going away. Right. And why do you think that is? Well, coach, building a culture. Money. But you know what you had to do to build that? Have money to build it.
Yeah.
Because that transfer's not going to, he's not going to Texas Tech. The kid from Cincinnati, he ain't going to Texas Tech 4 years ago. He's just not.
No. Yeah. And he may end up at an Alabama or something like that. But it's being talked about here in the comment with Dustin and Mike in them. But and it's something I've seen Josh Pate talk about and other college football minds, that get rid of the NCAA. Start your own, like you got your Division I. You have a Division I committee. You take all these teams, you put them in a pile, and then you separate them out by regions. So you got the West, you got the Midwest, if you want to call it. You got the Northeast, you got the Southeast, you got the South. You've got the middle of the country, whatever you want to call that, like Oklahoma, Kansas State, Kansas, Mizzou, all those teams, Vandy. And then you figure it out and you match them up, not just evenly based on where they're at right now, but number-wise. So if you have, like they said in here, 6 regions of, let's say there's 60 teams, 6 regions of 10 teams. That's it. And then you play it out, and then, we can figure out the schedules when you get there, once you get the regions figured out. But then if you want to do, okay, every region has a regional championship. Those 2 teams automatically make the, let's say it's a 16-team playoff. 16-team playoff, and then those 2 are in. Let's say you have 6 regions like they're saying, that's 12, and now you have 4 at large. And then you figure out the best from there. And the regional championship doesn't work.
There's no
you're in the playoff, but the regional championship can help your seeding. Maybe it gets you a bye if you win. So there's different things you can do. But I think just having 2 massive conferences and then 2 smaller Power 4 conferences just makes no sense.
I would
the disparity in the amount of teams doesn't make sense. So I think just regions makes a ton of sense.
That makes it, you're 100%. And my argument, not an argument, but to add to that, non-Power 4 team, just so you understand this, because of attrition, injuries, depth, a non-Power 4 team is not winning a national championship in college football.
So do the same thing for them. You have Division II,
right?
Make that and make them have their own playoff, and
FCS has their own pass, right? Have the Power 4 schools have all they're playing in their own world, brother. And then the mid-major / groups of 5. Why can't they do everything that the Power 4s are doing with their own national championship and do what FCS has done forever? Why can't you do that? Because I'm just telling you, Memphis is never winning a national championship in football unless they all of a sudden have $4 billion to pay players, and every guy on the roster is a millionaire, and they're getting guys that don't even know where Memphis is in Tennessee that go to Memphis. It's just not. If it was a 1-game upset, I get it. You're not rolling through 4 or 5 of them and winning it. You're just not, simply because you don't have enough players. Eventually the depth is going to get you. And so there's ways to do it, but we're not really smart when it comes to decisions at the NC2A. And I will tell you this, and there was one up here that reminded me of, the rankings. Last thing on this, Segs, is why do we have to rank somebody? It's made for TV. That's exactly it. But why do we have to put a ranking before? Why can't we start when do they start? When do the college football playoffs start ranking? 3, 4, 5 weeks in?
Yeah,
right? Sometime in late September, early October, somewhere. I don't know what the date.
Sometime in October.
So why do we have to have national rankings going in? Why can't we just go in, play, say, okay, after week 3, then we'll rank the teams. Let's see them play. Let's see if a quarterback gets hurt. Let's see if a player, what they're doing, if somebody transferred. Why do we rank somebody in March? Because they got returning veterans? Hell, we're at a time now when freshmen are better than seniors a lot of times.
Well, and with the just transfer portal and stuff, you never know how this stuff's going to come together.
That's exactly right. So, or somebody gets hurt the first day of training camp, completely changes the whole thing. Yet if they were ranked 3, they're going to stay 3 on the week before preseason rankings. And then everybody's got it in their head. Oh, these guys must be good. Look what happened to Clemson and LSU last year.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, LSU's the best team in the country. After they beat LSU took on Clemson, best team in the country. Veteran quarterback. How'd that work out for them in the end? They got a new coach now because of it. So I don't think that I don't need rankings. It's made for fodder. I think you'd even get better fodder by not having rankings and after until 3 weeks. Think about all the judgment going in the first 3 weeks. Well, I saw Clemson play. They're great. Well, Ohio State's not the same team. Well, I think they are. You'd even get more fodder for your podcasts and ranking shows by not knowing the rankings and you talking about them.
Right.
To me, and I'm talking about the AP, I'm talking about any ranking that we look at to start. We don't need to know that Ohio State's or whoever's the number 1 team in the country going in, because if they get beat, all of a sudden we say, boy, well, they were shitty. But they may not be shitty, or they may not be good. How about we wait and all that fodder for shows made for TV? Let them speculate. They do it anyway, and they overload their mouth with their ass enough times. Might as well add to it.
Yeah, for sure. It's keeping it in college sports with switching over to basketball. We talked about Darren Peterson not playing against Arizona, had flu-like symptoms. We talked about that yesterday. Today, there's talk of, college GMs, which now all these teams have GMs, are coming out and saying, is it worth it to pay one player like a Darren Peterson, who was the number 1 recruit coming out, $3 million, or would you rather have 3 $1 million players that, are talking, you can still get a top 25 recruit for $1 million or close to top 50. You can get 3 top 50 guys for $3 million, and you've got a great class. You're going to be argued as one of the best classes in the country if you have those 3. So do you think it makes sense for teams to come out and spread their money, especially when it comes to college basketball, because there are only a certain amount of spots? Most teams, especially when you're talking freshmen this high level, they're coming in and playing right away.
And so they're leaving right away too. They're going to.
So I think you kind of have to judge it based on what's your roster look like coming into the season before these kids come in. Do you have 9 players already? Then yeah, you take the 1 kid that puts you over the top. Or do you need a few players and you say, I want the 3? So I think it depends on the teams, but what do you think about, and again, this comes back to the NIL, and it's just a free for all. So really, in reality, you could go spend $3 million on 1 player and then $1 million on 3 other players, and you can get all 4 if you want. But it's just crazy how this is working right now.
I was in a meeting earlier today before the show, and when we put our rundown together, and Bailey put the rundown in, and I meant to go look because I know we can find it, and probably with 1 click of a button. Let's go to last year. Who was in the final? Florida and Houston?
Yeah.
It was Florida and Houston, right? Because Houston, okay. Who was the highest paid player? Well, if we said who are the top 5 NIL highest paid players in college basketball last year, were any of them on Florida or Houston?
I doubt it. I can look it up real fast, but I doubt it.
Was Cooper Flagg the highest paid?
Probably.
He was in the semis. Was he in the top 5?
Probably.
Great player. I don't know going in what he, because we knew how good a player he was when he played. I don't know what Duke paid him NIL. But my point is, when we're looking at metrics and analytics, listen, and we could do the same for college football. Was Will Howard and Riley Leonard the year before the 2 highest paid NIL guys? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So if you want to apply it, for me, especially knowing they're going to leave after 1 year, with all the competition and competitive balance there is in, speaking of college hoops right now, well, BYU's not going to win the national title this year. They're a good basketball program. Phenomenal. And their AJ, he's a great player. They're not winning the national title, Segs, right? in your mind? Would you bet him to? Yeah, but you'll get good odds for you. You
Right.
betting they'll win the national title?
No.
That dude's at the top of the list in NIL this year, right? And he's a great player, and he'll serve somebody really well in the NBA. My point is, the two teams that sat in the national final, I'll bet you not one of their players was in the top 10 in NIL for one season. I'll bet you. How well coached are you? How well? So if you're asking me that three for one, give me the 3 for 1. A bench guy that makes $800,000 that comes in as your sixth man that gives you 15 points and 7 a game. A star. I'll always take more that give me quality work than one that my whole team relies on that cat to get me there. And if he's a soft, if he doesn't play defense but he can score, because that's what we talk about, scoring. If he's not a rebound, if he plays, if he's a sometimer, sometimes I play and sometimes I don't, depends on my mood that day. Why am I investing in it? Because it looked good and the rankings show that we have the number 1 NIL recruit in the country. Are you wearing a fucking ring?
Right.
Now, I might be wrong on this, but I'm going to bet you that the University of Florida and the University of Houston, I know Kelvin Sampson's approach.
Yeah.
I'm going to bet you that they did not have, maybe not even a top 10 player, but they had a bunch of studs that are NBA players and that are damn good college players, and they were in the final. So, yeah, it's all fine and dandy if you get there and you win it and you pay the guy and he plays every day. And for me, if you're saying, would I get rid of a guy like that who's a phenomenal talent, but the headache of getting him to play seems to be just as big as the talent.
Yeah, only
And
played
somebody's going to draft him high in the NBA and he may go score 30 a game. But how many before NIL, how many championships did Oklahoma win with Trae Young? And how many teams do we have in the final every? Just 2.
Just 2.
So I'd love to see. I know on the national, who won the national championship in football this year, Segs?
Miami.
The Miami Hurricanes, the national champions, correct?
Or no, Indiana. They played Miami.
Right. Exactly. Indiana comes in point. That's what I'm saying. Think about how quickly it's over. We forgot.
Yeah, I know.
You think, my point was Miami probably does have somebody in the top 10 NIL, maybe. Do you think Indiana had anybody in the top 10 NIL this year?
No.
Okay. So if you're just going by metrics and analytics that everybody likes now, and you're an investor,
well,
if I gave you those in buying a house, would you buy 3 for $1 million or 1 for $3 million that's going to go rickety and you're going to have to replace the water heater on a regular basis? It's in an overpriced area, but if you move 10 miles away, you get the same house for a third of the price because you're just a little bit removed. You got to drive 15, 20 extra minutes to work. Same thing here. Now, every now and then there's the outlier. Cooper Flagg, if you paid him a lot, he ends up doing what he did. They didn't win a championship, but great. I get it. But with this, the headache of every day not knowing when you put a lineup card in, I mean, when you come to the thing and you're at Allen Fieldhouse, the guy's showing up. No, man, for the most part, the ROI, give me more of them for less money. Most of the time, the top paid or top 5 NIL players in the league, I would think, in college basketball, are not winning a championship. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe that was the case. I know it wasn't the case last year.
It's different. I think there's another layer to it because it depends on how you're spending the money, where you're spending it. Okay, so for example, according to On3.com, the top 5 NIL earners this season, right now, are AJ Dybasta from BYU.
Okay, would you bet any money that they're going to win it all?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think. I mean, they're a good team. They can make a Sweet 16, but I don't think they win it all.
They're BYU's football team. Impressive, good, going to get beat in the tournament.
Number 2 is JT Toppin. So that's Texas Tech paying to keep JT Toppin at
and
Texas
a hell of a
Tech.
Player. Isn't he the reigning player of the year, Segs?
Yes. So they'll be in the discussion. I mean, they're definitely good, but that's keeping one of your own. Then we have Duke's Cameron Boozer. Carlos Boozer's son, he's 3rd, and this is estimates. They'll be up for a national title, but what's the difference?
But they've spent money with other players as well.
Right. And what's the difference between him and Peterson? Cameron Boozer right now is probably arguably the player of the year in college basketball, whereas Darren Peterson's played 11 games. And he shows up every single time, and his old man did the same thing. And then number 4 and 5 actually kind of surprised me. I knew they were up there, but I didn't think they would be in the top 5. And that's Michigan's Yaxel Lendeborg, who they got from UAB, who transfer. came in. He's a
Experience,
senior,
played.
experience.
Yes.
You know, if he wasn't on Michigan, if he was just on a team where he could do everything he wanted and score like he wanted, he'd be up for National Player of the Year. He is a candidate,
doubt.
but he won't win. And then number 5 is
And he doesn't
Morez
have
Johnson.
to at Michigan, Segs, because they've
Right.
got it
Well,
allotted properly.
Number 5 is Morez Johnson, who went to Michigan from Illinois, another transfer. So I think it depends on how you spend that money. You know, Michigan went out and they paid their money to transfers plus 1 freshman. And I don't know how much the freshman got, but it was probably a good chunk of change. He was a top 20 recruit in the nation. But it depends on how you spend your money on this roster, especially in basketball, because there's so few players, unlike football where there's 90 something.
The comparison, Segs, is in football, you want to pay that veteran quarterback because he's
Right.
got experience. In basketball, well, freshmen are, I already know that this guy ain't playing a second year of college basketball, and you and I both know it.
Yes.
He's going to be gone. So how you disperse the money is right. Michigan's done it right. Some do it right. And if there's always going to be an outlier, hell, where you didn't invest a lot, that guy became a great player and got more NIL, or you invested a lot and that guy didn't show up all the time, great player, may go on to have a great NBA career. We're just talking about in college, how you disperse it. And Michigan's gone about it saying, I want to go old school. When Duke had Leitner and Grant Hill, vet, even though they weren't transfers, that are there their whole time.
Yeah.
Wisconsin and Frank Kaminsky gives it, where you got veteran players with a mix of youth, but you spent the money right. So it's not always, well, don't pay the guy $3 or $4 million. But the truth is, what's the ROI? And in Kansas right now, you cannot be getting what you paid for. You're not, because he's not playing. And it ain't like he shredded his knee or has an Achilles. He's got a stomachache.
Yeah.
Or a little soft. And so that to me, and it also sends volumes to the guys who are going to draft him. Give me, for the most part, Segs, 3 for 1 as opposed to 1 making 3.
Completely agree. All right, jumping over to the NBA, and we don't talk a lot of NBA. I don't watch a lot of NBA. I think it kind of sucks. I mean, there was a game the other night where I turned it on and I was just watching, and I counted like 17 travels in 6 minutes, and it's just like, okay, this is. I mean, and college is getting bad too. College is getting bad when it comes to the officials and what they're letting them get away with. But in the NBA,
mean when LeBron took 7 steps with the ball in place on the wing? Free throw on the extension out beyond the 3-point line, caught it, hopped again, moved his pivot foot, hopped back left and took a shot. Yeah. But they didn't call it, and the referee standing right there while the guy's playing off and defend. Yeah. It's an embarrassment and it's a mockery. It's an SNL skit.
We had a pretty decent brawl the other night between the Detroit Pistons and
so that's what you come to. To watch the NBA, you want to see a hockey fight.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So we had first, it was between Jalen Duran and Moussa Diabate. Diabate gave a hard foul coming through, and Duran had something to say. And if you've seen Jalen Duran, he's about 6'11", 7 foot, just jacked. I mean, he's huge. And Moussa Diabate is more of that slender type big, you know, about 6'10", 6'11", slender. So they got face to face. I think a shove was thrown. And then Miles Bridges got involved. He tried taking on Jalen Duran, and punches were thrown. And then out of nowhere, here comes Isaiah Stewart, who, let's just face it, he loves the fights. He loves getting into fights. He's done it multiple times throughout his career. He jumps off the bench and runs in, and he gets fighting
shooting
with
shirt on and
Miles.
got to fight. Yeah.
And he was, because of his past, suspended the most out of all this coming off the bench. And with his past, he was suspended 7 games. Miles Bridges 4. He was in multiple fights, as I just mentioned. And then Diabate and Duran, that started it, got 4 and 2. Duran, I think, got 2 because he was in the initial scuffle. He did the shove and started everything, but he didn't keep it going. He backed off, and then Diabate tried to get involved with a couple other guys. And so, I mean, this is what it takes for us to talk NBA right now.
That I was just about to say. Now, if you give us a fight tonight,
we're in.
I might tune in and watch that. If you're going to travel with the fist flying, man. If we're going to do it, let's make it a hockey. Let's put our hockey sweaters on and get after it. But the truth is, you'll never see a hockey fight in basketball. You'll see a pillow fight. Now, after all this action, Segs, how many guys landed anything anywhere near landing a punch?
Oh,
never.
None.
If you want fights, unless there's some involved. Baseball, there's a few guys that can throw hands. Don't. NBA, this is you get a jab in, and then 80 of your guys in security or coaches jump in the middle. You're talking, and you break away like you're going to get it, and the guy will hold you, and you want the worst fights in history. The worst. Listen, we should be doing a furniture, bed, pillow commercial. Do you sleep well at night? Use your feathered down pillow. Or an NBA fight. You'll sleep easily on both because not one of them knows how to land a punch. Secondly, it all looks good. And now it's going to cost you money. If you're going to throw haymakers, get your money's worth. Shit.
Right.
They never do that in an NBA fight unless, of course, you're thinking about some of the past fights that now they got it on. And you know what they did? They allowed you to battle the dude, meaning your other team. Say, you're going to get in it. If Daryl Dawkins and Mo Lucas are going to fight, I'm not dumb enough to get in between them. You two settle it like you did on the playground, knock each other out, and then we'll get to stepping and move on to the next one.
Yeah.
A bunch of suspensions, a bunch of money for a down feather pillow fight, which is the NBA. It matches the way they play.
It really does.
Shoot threes, don't play defense. I'm not saying everybody, but don't play defense. Open lanes up and be a matador defender like you're at a bullfight. And then when a guy hard fouls you, which was a normal foul 20 years ago, you go after him, but you kind of go after him.
Right.
You hit him with your down pillow. He hits you. You got your pajamas on, and you're having a slumber party talking about, what you're going to do when you go steady at your high school with your girlfriend and boyfriend. Save it. All these suspensions are laughable, but we're showing highlights, Seg, so maybe we need more of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes us talk about the league that has lost a lot
feathery
of
soft, though, Segs. Feathery
I want to
soft.
know, who are all these guys on the court that are trying to break all this up? Who are? I mean, I know we have assistant
Look at them.
coaches.
They're all like dressed in their all their full black Gary Player golf outfit on with their pants, their joggers, and their
like 40 assistants that are like hiding and they're just waiting for something like this so they can sprint out.
Mom and pop's about to come out of the stands at some of these games too, dude.
Yeah.
And coming out and start to fit in their kid too and start throwing haymakers.
But I know John Morant's dad would.
If you want to see a fight, usually don't go to the NBA. Just go to a youth league, and fans and coaches will be beating each other up, and referees and the rest of it. But yeah, there's your NBA highlight. The best pillow fight of the night.
I've seen it.
Reserved for the NBA.
One of the best fights I've seen, like in person recently, and I don't see a lot. I'm not out, looking for fights or anything. But in my life,
yes, you are. Your ass is out looking for fights.
Sometimes. But no, I was at my daughter's travel basketball up towards the city of Chicago, and we're just sitting off to the side before her game starts. And this dude, black guy, dressed, to the night, like he just got out of church. He's got the 3-piece suit.
Slick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. His shoes are like alligator.
Probably got a little pocket square in there looking sharp, right, Segs? Oh yeah.
Got on these nice sunglasses, and he's standing on the corner about 4 feet from me, and my daughter's on the other side, and he starts getting on this ref. He starts getting on this. This is like a fifth grade.
You mean the ref that's making $5 and gets a snow cone after the game? Yeah.
This is like a fifth grade girls travel game, and he's getting on him. I don't even know that the guy had somebody in the game in the suit, and he's getting on him. Finally, the ref, young kid, stops the game, blows his whistle, takes his whistle out of his mouth, throws it on the ground, walks over to him, and just swings. I didn't say a word, and they went at it for about 3-4 minutes because nobody could get in between them. And I'm like, I'm just going to sit back and watch. They were landing punch after punch. They were both bloody. When they got done, I was like, damn.
A youth girls basketball game, and the most exciting thing you saw was a beatdown by the referee and a guy talking trash.
You go watch fifth grade girls basketball, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade girls basketball, and come back and let me know what was good about that game, because you're going to see about 40 tie-ups, 40 jump balls, because as soon as they get a rebound, 4 girls just come in and try and grab the ball, and we don't call fouls. So
I love it.
It's just,
if it's your daughter, it's cool as hell. But Segs, another thing about that is you're the fan in the stands. You're mad at the referee. It's a 5th grade youth basketball, and the guy reffing it may have volunteered or gets paid a stipend for the year that ain't enough to buy a steak at a low-end steakhouse. And we're it's like an umpire. That kid's back there. He's 16 up at a game for youth, and you're like, and the dads and moms are cussing him. It's like, shut up and go home. But parents helicopter parents ruin everything, dude.
Yes.
Even youth basketball games. And Sags, we've had, this show's awesome because we've had an Othello Harrington mention.
Yep.
In our comments. Anytime you can mix in an Othello Harrington,
Yeah,
I believe he was a Hoya. Let's go Hoyas.
Yep. Just go watch.
Only thing I'm waiting for now
highlights.
is a God Shamgod mention.
Oh.
The Big East always has one of those guys with, two namers, right? Like Boomshay, Ruben Boomshay.
Yep.
There had to be a Providence, Seton Hall, St. John's guy. Guarantee God Shamgod played somewhere in old school Big East basketball. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Today you hit God Shamgod. If he didn't play at Providence, Villanova, St. John's, I'm telling you, he did. Ruben Boomshay. You got a lot of good names. Anytime. Matter of fact, a new thing on the show. Tomorrow, I want a random college basketball player's name, or should we say a random NBA player's name, like Billy the Whopper Pulse in our mentions. Today, Othello Harrington.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Pooh Richardson or God Shamgod. Pooh Richardson.
God Shamgod. I was right. I was thinking navy blue and white. That was what I was thinking, and it was Providence.
There you go. Providence, St. John. It's a old school Big East. God Shamgod, Ruben Boomshay. I'm just telling you, dude.
Yeah.
Where'd Bol go to school again? Is he a Big Tenor? Where'd Bol go?
Oregon. He went to. I think
that's right. He went to a couple schools, right?
But I know he went to Oregon.
I like the two namer guys, man. I like the two namers. But Othello Harrington is our prize of the day. Yep.
Tomorrow we got a story that we just don't have time for today. We got to do it justice. It's from the Olympics. If you haven't seen it, just tune in tomorrow. It's about a guy. He finishes third, and he just had something to say after, and he let the world know. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. We got more football we can talk about. College basketball this past week. Hell, just since Monday, we've had I think it's 6 or 7 top 10 teams lose. Illinois lost twice. So I mean,
save that for tomorrow, right? We got to save that because I want to talk about that
tomorrow because some craziness in college hoops and why is this happening? We can get into that. And then there's always some football to talk about. And there's probably going to be some more Olympic stories we can talk about as well.
Did the guy at the Olympics, you said he said something.
He had something to say after he won bronze.
Did he say he was gay? Did he come in? Is that kind? No, wasn't that? I thought when you said he announced something that maybe he was letting the world know that that he said yes to be gay. I don't know. Not that it's a problem. I thought that's where you were going with this, and I thought that's okay. Wins a bronze, kicked ass. I like it. Men competing against men. What a novel concept.
Yeah. Yep. He was I don't even remember what sport he was in.
Was he a curler?
No, he was not a curler. It was an individual sport. So I don't even remember the sport, but I know exactly what he said after he won bronze. Does
he love his country?
I think he loves his country, but he loves something more, and we'll discuss tomorrow. And as Dustin points out, U.S. hockey does play tomorrow against Latvia.
You're damn right. What do they play? Latvia or something?
Yep, Latvia.
There you go.
And if you don't know anything about Latvian hockey, get ready.
When the U.S. and Latvia get together,
what do?
Throw out all the records.
You throw out all the records.
Throw out
shit
all
gets
the records.
Crazy.
Yeah, it gets real, dog. When Latvia rolls up on you, you better be prepared. Okay.
Does the U.S.
We score 8 goals. Do they medal? I don't know, but they do win this one by they lap Latvia in their game
5-1
tomorrow. Yeah, I've got 7-1. They'll roll up some points.
Put up some. Okay, I like it.
When I say points, goals, obviously.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that, but yeah, lots to talk about tomorrow. Thanks to Bailey and Laura as always. Follow Sean at Sean Unfiltered, myself at Adam G Sager. Go to Rumble and YouTube, like and subscribe on YouTube. It's Unpaved Sean Salisbury. Get all the notifications.
Go follow Othello Harrington if he's out there.
Follow Othello Harrington.
Yeah.
And
the big O.
According
Othello.
to Tom Brady, the WWE is cute. It's cute.
Yeah, it's cute. Now come play a real sport, flag football. Okay, so Tommy wants. That's what Tommy wants Logan.
Yeah,
to do.
it's kind of hard to call WWE cute when you're talking about flag football.
Hey, times are a changing, Segs. Times are a changing.
Times really are a changing. All right, we'll be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central. Talk to you guys later. Peace.
UNPAVED, Sean Salisbury here. We're bringing authentic, real stuff to you. Hardcore opinion.
Sean Salisbury, a great NFL analyst, a former NFL quarterback.